we're here on the show Love Lessons, where we talk about everything dating to breakups to finding love and starting over again after a divorce. So welcome. Today we're going to be talking about styling yourself and your online brand for success professionally or personally. We are here with Saskia Nelson. Say hello.
Hello.
Saskia is the world's first online dating photography business, or well, not herself, but she has a business called Hey Saturday, and has recently launched Hey Tuesday, which styles yourself and your and your photography for professional success using all those platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. Well, she can tell you more about that. So welcome, Saskia.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So great to have you in. So, by the way, we are live on YouTube and on air, so do tune in on all platforms if you so wish, if you want to see Saskia's gorgeous jumper.
Yeah, no.
So, Saskia, we are unfortunately in the midst of breakup season.
We are.
Yes,
it's very sad. At this time of year, people do tend to break up. I think Christmas and New Year both, like that's when everyone just realises the stress of everything. Yeah, yay or nay.
Yay or nay, the pressure cooker that is the holidays and Christmas.
Yeah, and then I think with the new year, it's kind of looking for a fresh start, isn't it? So it's kind of a good time to go, do you know what, that relationship, that was hard work, I'm ready to move on. And so, New Year's a good time. This
must be actually quite a busy time for you and your business. Is that right?
It is. December's quiet, I think. But the minute it starts from Boxing Day, unbelievably. As soon as we roll into Boxing Day, the bookings start coming in and then they build up. And then they go a bit mad around payday as well. So, yeah, January, like third week of January, payday, then we get a massive uplift.
I suppose, though, over December, there are so many holiday plans and dinners and drinks events that nobody wants to look a bit hungover.
No, I would say that probably mid-November we see it. That's the one time of year when we see a massive drop in bookings, because it's usually quite steady throughout the year. But yeah, it's quite noticeable then. And then that lasts, like I say, Boxing Day, things start picking up again. It's quite funny that it's actually on Boxing Day, but I think people are just kind of sitting there with their family going, oh, I don't want to be on my own again. I don't want another Christmas on, mum and dad's couch.
All of those questions, like, have you met someone? Have you been dating?
Yes. Yeah, your auntie wants to know, who's your latest boyfriend, and and it's like, I can't do another.
So I think actually it's probably a couple of things then, motivating you to get back out there, and also motivating you to kind of like rejig and reinvent yourself and style yourself to have success in the new year, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, everyone kind of goes into the new year going, right, I'm going to do things differently. I want to be different. I want to look different. I want to be better. How can I be better? And when you're talking about dating, that's a good time to really kind of change up your profile and kind of just create a new version of you. 2.0, I call it.
2.0.
Yes.
Love that. So, what is it that holds a lot of singles back online from getting the best out of their swipeability, I guess?
There is one thing that holds people back, and that is self-confidence or self-esteem or self-love, whatever you want to call it. But that is the one thing that holds people back. And if people nailed that, they'd be flying. So, and I know from personal experience the difference that self-confidence can make. So I was doing online dating. I did it for years, 8 years probably, on and off until I met my partner.
Yeah.
And we've been together for years now. But when I first started online dating, I was really excited by it. I'd kind of meeting anyone you want online. It was amazing. I was just like, yeah, this is awesome. And then obviously after a while, there's rejections flying around. You're rejecting people are rejecting you, and suddenly you're like, oh, okay, hang on, this isn't as much fun as I thought. But what I realized was I couldn't blame online dating for that, because online dating, all that is a tool that connects you with people. So that isn't what's making me unhappy.
It's funny how many people do like to blame the tools.
Yes, but there's no point going, oh, online dating's rubbish, it's like, it makes me miserable. No, you're making yourself miserable. All online dating does is connect you with people. That's awesome.
It's all about your mindset as well, how you think about it and how you approach the situation.
Exactly. So when I realised that, I was like, okay, this isn't about online dating, this is about me. So I read a book on building my self-confidence. And oh my goodness, that's when I built Saskia 2.0.
No way.
And yeah.
What is this book? Are you allowed to plug it?
Well, it's going back quite a few years now. So it was called How to Be Your Own Life Coach by Fiona Harold. So,
wow.
But there are many other books now, like How to Be a Badass, by Jen Sincero. That's pretty much a similar book. So there's lots of books out there that focus on like rebuilding your confidence.
You would really help so many listeners if you could send that list to me, and I'll put a blog together at the end of our live, and attach that reading list so people can kind of create.
That's a great idea, because honestly, if you create you 2.0. So I literally, when I finished this book, and there is work to do, it's not just I'm going to sit and flick through it. There are exercises, and the harder you work at it, the more you build your confidence. But after that, I started dating millionaires. I was getting picked up in Porsches. I sound like I'm making it up, but it's not. You can ask my mum who's listening. I suddenly started. Hi, Mum. I suddenly started meeting these guys who, were a completely different level to the kind of guys. I'm not saying they were great guys. I didn't end up with any of them. I didn't want to. But the point was, the old me wouldn't have believed that I could date guys who were multimillionaires, who drove Porsches. But this me was like, hell yeah, of course I can. Like, I'm amazing. It's almost they should be,
styling your mind for success, whether it's professionally or, personally in your dating life. It's like what you believe you can achieve.
Absolutely, because there was no difference to the old me or the new me in terms of physically. I was exactly the same, it was literally my mindset that had changed. That's all it was. And suddenly I'm attracting all kinds of people. And it was so interesting to do that kind of, it was almost like an experiment, like I'm just going to read this book. I'm going to work really hard at it and see where it leads me. And, it transformed my dating experience. So that's what I say to my clients who come to me and they're like, oh, I hate online dating. Well, why? There's nothing to hate about it. It's amazing. It connects you with people.
Yeah, but people that you wouldn't really cross paths with.
Yeah, exactly. So that's amazing. Like, I grew up pre-internet. Trust me, it's amazing to be able to do that. You need to appreciate that.
And it's funny because somebody said to me yesterday, Sarah, like, I don't understand, like, you're teaching people how to online date, but I really do believe that he's going to come knocking. And I said, the only person that comes knocking is like
the postman
and the postman, like Amazon Prime. So no, he's not going to come knocking.
No, not anymore. No.
You do have to also take those steps to put yourself out there.
Well, yeah, exactly. And also, who would come knocking? You need to have your own standards and go out and find them and put yourself out there in the right way to attract them in. Sitting at home watching Netflix thinking he's going to knock in a minute, that's not going to attract anyone, frankly.
I know. And you say, you go out there and find somebody who reaches those standards, but I think you also have to be super duper clear on what those standards are before you head out there, because if you don't know what your boundaries are, what your values are,
absolutely.
and what you're willing to accept and welcome into your life, then you'll just welcome anybody really, and you don't, that's not what you want. You don't want to waste your time. It's the one thing in life you can't make enough of or get back. So
I would say the first thing I did was as part of Saskia 2.0 was creating boundaries or rules. Is so important. And
can you give us some of those?
Yeah, I can. So I mean, they're different. They're going to be different for everyone. But if you know what yours are, you can then go out and date knowing exactly what's what. So for example, I would do 20 minutes a day online dating. I would commit to doing that a day. You need to be on there. You need to be active to
consistency.
Yeah. I had one which was the most important one. Probably was if a guy I was seeing after 4 weeks was still logging on, that was unacceptable to me. So for lots of people are kind of like, when is the time that they should stop logging on? We should be dating exclusively. Well, that's up to you. It's different for everyone. For me, I was like, right, I'll do 4 weeks. After that, I'm quite emotionally engaged with this person. I've allowed myself to get emotionally involved. After 4 weeks of dating, you're starting to go down that road. So if he's still logging on at 4 weeks, I'll have a conversation that goes something like, I notice you're still logging on. I did check. And that's kind of unacceptable to me. So I'm out of here. I want a guy where it's exclusive. And I can tell you, absolutely every guy that I had that conversation with was like, oh, wait a minute, no, I'm not really logging on. I was just checking, blah blah blah. And then they committed.
Really interestingly, just to make you laugh, not like I said, I'm not that funny, but we'll try. So with my partner Simon, we met a year and a half ago, and I was having a chit chat with him, and I wanted to have the exclusivity conversation because I'm like you, very clear boundaries. I know what I want, and I wanted to lay it out there on the table. So I said, I just wanted to see if we are exclusive or you date anyone else. Blah, blah, blah. And I felt like a fool because he said, "Oh, I just assume you're my girlfriend now." And I was like, "Oh, the dating expert has lost her knack. She doesn't even know that this person thinks he's in a relationship," which I also thought it was about communication. So we kind of giggled, and then were very,
that is the best possible result that you could have from that conversation. But they're like, "Oh, I thought we were already in a relationship." That's like score.
Yeah, score on the door right there.
Yeah.
So amazing to have you in. I'm Sarah Louise Ryan. We're here on Love Lessons at Women's Radio Station talking to Hey Saturday's Saskia Nelson, also founder of Hey Tuesday. So we're talking about styling yourself for online dating success. We'll also be talking a little later on in the show about creating an online profile for your professional life that will supercharge your opportunities and success and create consistency with what you're putting out there with your digital footprint. We will also be talking a little bit about Saskia's female founder's journey, which I'm so excited about.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, how did Saskia start her business? So we'll be right back. And welcome back to Love Lessons on Women's Radio Station. I'm here with female founder Saskia Nelson, where we are talking about her business, Hey Saturday, and her other business, Hey Tuesday, styling yourself with your photographs online for personal and professional success. So my main priority is getting to grips with what brings all that swipe right ability of, what makes someone swipe rightable? Trying to think of all these taglines, but it's not really that funny. And so, Saskia, we were talking earlier about confidence being the number one thing, or self-esteem, or whatever, lack of self-love, I guess, holding people back from finding a match or getting out there on dates or even chatting to people online. Do you think there's anything else holding people back other than how they feel about themselves, essentially?
Well, I would say that online dating profile itself is probably, definitely holding people back.
Yeah.
So the way people create their profile, what they're writing, the images they're using are definitely holding people back. And there are some very kind of simple things that people can do to really enhance it, I would say.
So sometimes do profiles just need a little rejig rather than a whole makeover that could create, more matches?
It depends how bad they are. But yes, it should be fun to write your profile. I think the problem is people, when they start online dating, they want to get to the bit where they're on dates. They don't want to have to do the boring kind of signing up process, and it's a bit laborious, and people aren't really in a good frame of mind when they do it. So that ends up showing in the profile itself. Whereas what you need to do is get really pumped and like, yeah, life's good and I'm really awesome and what am I really good at? And, what am I passionate about? And really like thinking about who they are and what they stand for and like writing it while they're in a good space, in a good frame of mind.
Yeah.
And that will make a massive difference.
Go on. Go on.
And I was just going to say, and I think nowadays it's like the shorter your profile, the better. The bigger impact you can have with the least words is where you're at.
Pack a punch.
Yes, pack a punch. When you talk about the written bit, that's what you need. Writing kind of whole reams and essays. No one's going to read that, especially guys.
Something you said very early on, just in that whole realm, is that people are online and they want to pack a punch with their profile to get dates, but actually, from what I've seen in the many years in the dating industry, is that so many people are happy to pack a punch, but just to get connects and messages, and they're very comfortable in this realm on their sofa building pseudo relationships with people and chatting and taking those endorphins, thinking, oh, this is a good bit of attention. but then they're not actually making it out onto those dates, and it's just not enough if you're looking for love.
Okay, so you know why that's happening. That's because they're lacking the confidence.
Yes.
So when you have more confidence, you're willing to get out of that comfort zone. But life's so much better in the comfort zone in terms of how you feel. You want to sit in your comfort zone because it's scary out there and all sorts of things can happen. And it's just easier if you sit in your comfort zone and you create all these relationships with people that don't actually go anywhere. So it's really, if you really want to crank your life up a notch and crank your dating life up a notch and start having like actual fun and actual dates, you have to get out of your comfort zone. It's scary. Baby steps is fine, but you need to do that. You need to.
Well, I'll tell you a funny little story. When I became single after a very long-term relationship a few years ago, back in 2016, I had been talking about relationship advice, dating advice for a very long time, but then found myself single, and actually talking about it was a whole different ballgame to actually being there, nearly single after a big breakup. So I was in a holding pattern and started online dating, and while I was like running matchmaking agencies and things like that, I couldn't date my clients.
Yes.
So I had to go online. So it was completely for an offline Cupid, a bizarre thing to do.
Yeah.
Started online dating. I thought, oh gosh, I'm in this holding pattern. It's not enough. I'm not getting out on dates. So I went out to a single event called Last Night a Speed Date Saved My Life.
Oh, I love it.
And I can honestly say, if they're listening or watching, that was the best time ever. I think I dated about 40 men in about an hour, and it soon cracked that comfort zone, that holding pattern.
Yeah.
And I just felt this whole new leash of energy, and I thought, actually, it's not that scary. I mean,
that's it.
We're just humans.
Yes, that's exactly it. And I think you can't, outside the comfort zone looks scarier than it actually is. And once you actually just get out there and push yourself to do things, the one thing is it makes you feel good. Like when you achieve something that you wouldn't normally achieve, you feel good about yourself, and that racks up the confidence. So it's this kind of positive circle of doing things, feeling more confident, doing more things. And so, that's a perfect example. Trying something new, perfect.
So tell us a little bit. So we talked about how photographs can hold us back, not putting our best foot forward with those, how we're not packing a punch with our bios and chit chat, and then I suppose how we're like in mindset that's holding us back. So what is it firstly about bios that you think, or a little bit about yourself, that can hold you back? I mean, it should be short and punchy, but what's your take on it?
Well, I believe that a dating profile should be like a magazine cover. Yeah.
Ooh,
so when you go into a shop and there's all these magazines, you look at the cover, and the first thing you're drawn to is the image. That's just how humans are created. We go, oh, I like that. I like that image, so I'll pick that up. Then you see the kind of the little headlines that kind of tease you about what's inside. And by this point, you're starting to make you'll probably make a decision within a few kind of seconds as to whether you want to buy that magazine or not, based on the cover alone. You then might have a flick through, but you really need to know everything you must know from that cover. And that is what your dating profile should be. So you should have strong, bold, kind of good quality image on the front.
Yeah.
And then a nice tagline, a nice headline. So something funny, like, I don't know.
But what you find funny, I might not.
Well,
find
exactly,
funny.
and that's okay, because it's about you. It's about being authentic. So for me, it might be something like Magic 8 Ball says "Hell yes," or it might be my dog thinks I'm kind of a big deal, or something like that. Because
watched Luther last night, never again.
Yes, exactly. You're getting your personal brand in there. So rather than looking for my Prince Charming, snore, avoid the cliches and find something that says something about you.
Saskia, I have to ask you this question. It wasn't intentional, but it's just popped into my mind.
Yeah.
What about those people? I feel myself getting a bit angry when I'm about to ask this question.
Oh.
What is it about those people that put in a profile looking for 5'11" plus, or looking for a female this height, or whatever? What do you think about those strong statements?
Really don't like them, because I'm 5'11". I'm 5'11". I'm mixed race. When I was dating, I'm 5'11". I'm mixed race, and I was late 30s when I was dating. So lots of things that were not ticking people's boxes if you're looking at boxes. But you know what? That's who I am, and I was proud of it. So you need to own who you are.
Yes.
But it really it's really not attractive when your profile is really a list of things that you don't want in someone else. What, that's just going to turn off everyone.
A
It's
list
not
of
just
things that you don't want, things that you're not looking for, but it's, as the law of attraction goes, you're kind of attracting.
I don't want someone. Yeah, I don't want someone who's tall. I don't want someone who's whatever.
Okay,
and it's
well,
just
don't date them then.
Yeah, you don't need to tell everyone that. Well, you focus on the good stuff. Don't focus on bad stuff. But I can't tell you the number of profiles where they focus on the negative.
And what's really interesting is that what might seem common sense to most people, or maybe to you and I, so many people do online. For example, a group picture as a numero uno shot.
Oh.
What is that?
That's my pet hate.
Why?
I know, because there's so many.
No, not why is it your pet hate?
No. But there's so many things wrong with that, and people think it's okay. But you're just making it harder. You're making it hard work for someone to find you.
Where's Wally?
Where's Wally? Where's Wally? And then you get people who just in every photo is group shot. So in order to know who you are, they've got to cross-reference 5 photos and figure out who's the same person. I mean, how much work are you trying to put people through?
It's like
they're going to make a decision in seconds as to whether to click on your profile, and that isn't the way to do it.
I know, people are not looking for a challenge.
No, not in that respect. They might look for a challenge in other ways, but not in that, not in that way. Definitely
way
not.
Too much.
And they might not like the look of your friends. Moving on quickly, because they're like, oh, no.
Maybe you've got a group of attractive friends, and for example,
even worse, they fancy all your friends.
Yeah, fancy all your friends. Or I have seen back in the day of online dating, and friends, and people that have shown me online profiles of people. Oh, here's a great picture of me in New York, but aren't you with your ex-girlfriend or something?
Cut out.
I mean, it's common sense.
I had a guy at a wedding, and it was his wedding, and he cut out the bride. I mean, I'm not even lying. That was a real thing. We're going back a few years, but that was a thing. I think that was the turning point for me, where I was like, there needs to be a company that kind of
you might have just left a hole for her face for you to Photoshop
you can see a bit of veil and things. It's like, oh my goodness, this is your wedding day photo.
That's horrific.
Oh my god.
So bottom line to this whole segment is that you really need to pack a punch with your online dating profile, and to do that you really need to take a good strong look at your photographs. Are they clear? Are they concise? Is there good lighting?
Good quality. Magazine cover.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to talk about the whole Hey Saturday shooting and what it takes, and how you help people put their best foot forward. You also have to go forward with a positive mental mindset about attracting somebody. Don't put anything negative in your profile about what you don't want, or height, or hair color. Like women choose hair color all the time.
Be open to what's out there.
Be open. And why don't you talk about what you like to do, not what you're looking for, and then that's attractive.
I think I remember I used to look for guys who were taller than me, obviously a small pool of people. The minute I stopped doing that, things got so interesting. I have to say, yes. It opened up this whole world of short guys. They weren't that short, but they were shorter than me, and suddenly my life got a lot more interesting. In fact, my boyfriend's shorter than me. But you know what? Ain't a problem.
And it's love.
And it's love. It's only an inch shorter.
Saskia, you're so funny. So I'm Sarah Louise Ryan. I'm here with female founder Saskia Nelson of Hey Saturday and Hey Tuesday. We're here at Women's Radio Station talking live on Love Lessons, and we will be right back.
You're so good at this. I keep saying that, but you're just so good.
I love it. We've managed to fill 2 slots, and I don't even know what we said.
I know, what have we covered? God knows.
Oh gosh, I mean, I do want to do a session where I drink wine with the guests, but to be fair, I'm doing dry January, so it's not possible.
Could you imagine drinking wine?
We're still live. Can you hear us on there? We can't hear us on there.
We'd be cackling. I really.
So about the drinking wine, I mean, it'll all be above board, and just a little bit, not a lot.
Yes.
So your mum's listening in, and dad.
They are, yes. I don't know if they're on YouTube though. If they figured that out.
It's live, but I can't see how many people are watching. No. So we talked about last night. A speed date saved my life. That was honestly so fun.
Oh my god, I love the name.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
What made it fun?
the fact that some people took it really seriously and they were coming along to find like a life partner. One guy dressed up as...
So you mean you're laughing at people?
No, so that was nice. So that was like a good aspect. Then some people came just to make you laugh. Like one guy was dressed as like Super Mario and just...
Oh my God, like Mario Kart.
Maybe he lacked a bit of confidence and maybe he was kind of like, that's his Sasha Fierce or something, do you know? So he came along as a talking point like that. Some people were so drunk that they were slurring their words, but because they were so nervous.
Yeah.
Some
does sound like a lot of fun.
Had their cards and were making notes about you as you were talking. Like,
oh my God.
Like really jotting down what you're saying. Like, it's not an exam.
Oh my God.
It's not an exam.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
It was so well run. It was a great company.
Are they still going?
I think they're still going. I did it at the book club over in, I think it's Shoreditch.
Oh yeah, I know the book club. I like it there.
Please. And what should we talk about now? What men and women find attractive? We still didn't do that, did we?
I don't know. Not really.
No, let's do that.
Okay.
We've kind of cut out.
And then there's a strategy for, like, you were asking about recommendations. And
recommendations of what?
Apps and stuff. But I was going to talk about a strategy instead.
Well, let's just go with it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. Go with the flow.
$20 seconds.
We'll just do the last segment about your business. Like, we'll do the last segment about Hey Saturday and Hey Tuesday because I think we'll fill this one.
Yeah. We just got 2 more to do, yeah? 2 more to do.
Ready?
Hello, I'm Sarah Louise Ryan and welcome back to Love Lessons. I'm here live on Women's Radio Station, here on YouTube, on the app and on the website with Saskia Nelson, founder of Hey Saturday and Hey Tuesday. So if you're looking to kind of style your photographs for success in your personal life or in your professional life, in fact, Saskia's your gal.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, it's so exciting. A lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So Saskia is out there in the world, globally helping singles and professionals style themselves. So in terms of their profiles, what they're putting out there, you know, we're creating a digital footprint everywhere we go, and we kind of want that to look the best it can.
Absolutely.
Put our best foot forward.
Yeah. First date ready.
First date ready.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to ask you about that. So, a lot of people, it's January. It's the whole New Year, New Love, New Year, New Start, New Year, New You, all of that stuff. So, what do you recommend to somebody who is putting themselves back out there on the dating scene for the first time in God knows how long?
Yeah.
And January is the get-go. They're doing it now.
So, I would recommend that first of all, they rather than just focusing right down on dating, they look at their bigger picture of their life and think about, like, am I having fun in life? What am I doing with my life? I need, because people want to date happy people who are happy in what they're doing. They don't want to date people who are like, I just need someone and then everything will fall into place. You know, yeah, my life's falling apart, but if I have someone, they don't want to date those people. They want to date someone who's happy. They've got interesting stuff going on. So what I always say to clients is, what's happening in your life right now? Are you happy? And if they're like, and I'm like, okay, let's focus on that. So January is a great time to kind of start doing new stuff, putting yourself out there, letting your friends know that you're kind of actively looking. So basically broaden your social circle as much as possible, start saying yes to things, and start trying new things. And then when you're feeling like, yeah, actually, because as soon as you start trying new things and you achieve stuff, you feel good. It's like this circle of getting a little bit out your comfort zone, baby steps. I've achieved that. I feel really good now. Then write your profile, then get your photos taken, then start dating, because you're in a place. Happy people attract good quality people.
Yes, and you're not looking for your other half. You're looking for your other whole. Like, the whole point is that you are whole.
Oh, I like
happy.
that. That's good.
I really don't like it when people say your other half, because you are totally whole on your own.
Or even worse, your better half. What the?
People say your better half.
That person's got zero self-love going on there.
I know, better half. funny.
Yeah,
No, it's not funny.
no, it's not funny.
You know what? A pet peeve of mine, and I
Mm.
really love for singles and anyone listening out there, even if you're not single, to eliminate in 2019 is the word busy.
Oh yes.
How busy are you? Oh, you can't
Yeah.
be busier than me.
No.
So what?
Absolutely.
Too busy to start a profile to get out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or to spend time on it. So you
yeah.
just write something, any old thing.
Too busy for a coffee.
That's like the most important thing you're going to do is write that profile, because that's going to lead you to love. And so if
Yeah.
you do it in 2 minutes,
Yeah.
that's.
And have you thought about how many times you sent an email, for the business, or maybe you, or singles out there, maybe you have been chatting to someone, you said, oh, I'm busy, but I can do this, I can squeeze you in there, or can you squeeze me in, or whatever.
Yeah.
No squeezing. Make
Yes.
time, make it
Yes.
a priority.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's eliminate the word busy. I think it's holding so many people back from anything they deserve in their life, let alone
That's
love.
so interesting. Yeah. And I would say a lot of Hey Saturday clients, we give them a questionnaire, because we make them like go, hang on a minute, you need to sit down and think about this before you go on your shoot. Because if you don't, they'll just rock up at like 2 minutes going, okay, what do I need to do for a shoot? Because everyone's so busy. We get that all the time.
But then they're investing their time. They're investing in their love life, and they're financially making an investment in hiring an expert to take care of what they can't do very well. And so why would you waste that time, money, emotional investment by rocking up 2 minutes in? It doesn't make sense to me.
And the reason is always because they're busy, and you're like, okay. I know we're professionals and we can do a lot, but we can't do everything for you. You need to come, you need to be prepared, you need to be feeling it.
And then the reality is, if you haven't thought about, how you want your hair that day, or
what outfit
you're going to wear,
or
that's very how you want to put yourself forward in those photographs,
what your personal brand is,
you're going to be a bit upset, I guess.
So we make them do a pre-shoot questionnaire, but it's a fun one, and so it's they actually sit down and they go, okay, and it really helps them. It's asking questions like, what's inspiring you right now, what do you love about yourself the most, or 5 things that you love about yourself. And it's hard. Some people really struggle.
I think that something that has really made you skyrocket in the dating industry as a human being, let alone a business, is that you have this approachability and real human way of approaching life, I guess. It's not this persona, it's you, and you're talking real talk about how people should think about themselves, how they should approach things pragmatically. And I think you've got quite a cool brand, like a cool stance, and people feel quite like you're approachable. So working with you, and you've got a team of photographers, do they all have the same kind of personalities, that like the Hey Saturday brand?
So the Hey Saturday brand is like, your shoot is you having fun with someone, like someone that you really enjoy. A friend, someone that you chew the fat with over a glass of wine. So they're all women, and they're all like, you just love to sit down and chat with them, and that is the brand right there. Like, you meet them for your shoot, you're like, oh my god, I don't know this person, and within 5 minutes you're having a laugh, you're relaxed, you're doing something potentially frightening and outside your comfort zone. And without fail, our clients are like, do you know what, I had such a good time on that shoot. And that is the Hey Saturday brand. You're doing something that you really don't want to do. The majority of people are like, I don't want to do a shoot, I hate them, but I just want some good photos. And then they have such a great time because they're fun. We make it fun.
So what about those who are dating, let's say later on in life? Perhaps they've been divorced, or maybe they've been in a relationship for 20 or 30 years, and they really want to get themselves back out there. They are trying to work on their confidence. What would you recommend to them specifically coming on a Hey Saturday shoot? Like, not so sure about what to do online, let alone how to style themselves or whatever.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, I do believe on about self-love, but that is the biggest issue with that age group, I would say. Whereas actually, if you turn it around, these women, these guys, they've got like life experience. They've got so much to bring to a relationship. So it's about turning things on their head and going, you don't need to compare yourself to, the millennials or whatever. You're special. You've got all these experiences that these younger people don't have.
Comparison is the biggest killer of self-confidence, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's really, again, it's about focusing on their self-love. And I'm talking about it a lot today because for Hey Saturday, we, originally we were all about being the first and the best dating photography agency, but now we're moving into being like promoting self-love, because we can see that that's the one thing that will make a huge difference to people's photos. So I've seen it myself. I did 2 shoots back to back, one with a gorgeous woman, one with an ordinary, regular looking woman. And I could see, and I did it the same place, half an hour between. And the gorgeous woman came first. I could see her and I was like, wow, she's a stunner. But she had no confidence and it was really hard work. I couldn't believe it myself. I'm like, and then following her, I worked really hard though. I got some okay shots, but I was disappointed because she was really hot. And then the plain woman came and I could see her crossing the road towards me. And oh my goodness, she was just working it. And these were 2 women in their 50s. And she just had her hair cut. She just bought this amazing outfit. And you could see that she was just like so full of confidence. And she rocked her shoot. She absolutely rocked it. And I was just blown away, because if I looked at the 2 women and got, beforehand, I'd be like, well, her photos will be amazing, the gorgeous one.
Yeah.
And hers, well, we'll do something with that. And it was completely the reverse.
So how you feel on the inside really shows and oozes on the outside.
Absolutely.
And I do think that...
And that's something that I can't control. I can't make someone feel better on the inside. It's got to come from inside them. And I can bring out that feeling.
Maybe some like power poses before they do their shoot.
Yeah, so we do some grounding exercises as well sometimes. But they need to come feeling it, and it will make a huge difference. It doesn't matter what you look like, and that's a good thing about confidence. It levels the playing field. You don't have to be the hottest person in the room. You have to be the most confident, and boom, you'll nail it. Own it, absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. And what was I going to say to you just then? Well, your Hey Saturday brand is not just, the world's first dating photography business. It's also kind of photography with a side of coaching, because you really care about the clients that come through, and you really care about the outcome of those photographs and what are they going, where are they going to use it, what they're going to use it for. Do you kind of get a grip on what platforms they're going to put it on before?
I mean, we get quite a few guys in particular want advice on which photos to use, so they'll come back to me after they've had the shoot and say, which photos should I get?
Okay.
And I'm happy to do that,
because they're not quite sure which ones make them look the best or show the best side.
So women tend to ask their friends, so they're kind of okay because they're cool about talking about it with their mates. But guys will tend to come to me and go, oh, the photographer said I could chat to you, and so I'll have a look at their photos, and I don't mind doing that. Because they just need a female eye to say, well, this one will work really well for your main shot and things.
I love that. So 2019 is all about pushing self-love.
Yes, for Hey Saturday, that's exactly it. We're promoting it. That's what we stand for, and that's what you're going to see a lot more of. It's all over our Instagram already. So we're taking it wider.
Can't wait to get to grips with Hey Tuesday and the difference with the approach and what you do there, and gosh, how you're keeping so busy with I guess it's 2 businesses, right?
Yes, it is really, but
2 brands.
2 brands, and they're slightly different audiences. So but it's the same photographers and the same location, so that kind of works. So it makes it easier to manage.
So exciting. So I'm Sarah Louise Ryan. I'm here live on YouTube, online, and on Women's Radio Station app, where we're talking with the wonderful Saskia Nelson of Hey Saturday and Hey Tuesday. We're going to be talking a little bit further about perfecting your online profile, whether it's for your business or whether it's for finding love or getting those dates, I guess. So we'll be right back, so stay tuned. Thanks for listening, guys. This is fun.
It is fun.
I love this.
This is fun. Does it sound all right?
So we were going to have a single Pringle in, when I say a singleton, come in and show us their online dating profile, so we could kind of like look at them and make suggestions, this, that, and the other. And I had a couple of girls both agree to come in, but both of them had to cancel. And I thought, oh gosh, well, what are we going to do with that segment? But me and Saskia, we just like talk so much.
I know. I think that one slipped by.
I know. Can you imagine? We probably couldn't even squeeze them in, because at the end we want to talk about business and like really want to inspire women out there.
So this section now.
Yeah. Because there are so many women, it kind of ties in with confidence. So many women that are listening in and they're not ready to start their business and they're waiting for the perfect time, and there is no perfect time.
No. It's like having a baby. It's like having a baby. There is no time. Just do it.
Just do it if you want.
Get your ducks in a row or whatever. But then
ducklings to make your ducklings. When will it stop? Make it stop. Oh gosh. Oh, it's all right for a Monday.
Yeah. So do you do it every Monday?
Every Monday, 2:00. I was just saying to the girls that in a couple of weeks' time.
Oh, you had the lovely. What's his name? I did a.
Clicked out.
Yes.
Oh my God, the gorgeous
Lucas.
Lucas.
Oh, so cute, isn't he?
His interview will air soon.
Because it wasn't live.
No, it wasn't live then.
Oh, interesting.
But I'd like to have him back in. Lucas is fantastic.
Was he? I need to hear it. I know, because he interviewed me for Clicked Out before we came to you. And
headphones on, please.
And I was like, oh, who is this guy? And I just fell in love with him.
He's lovely. And I think he's single.
Is he?
Yeah. I want to match him with someone. Can you? Oh, I'll send him an email.
I need to send him to some matchmakers then. Damn.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing matchmaking, but I'm just like, hooking people up.
Yeah, no, he's so lovely.
Yeah, why don't you send him?
He needs someone arty and creative.
Yeah, he's cool.
Well, yeah, he's very cool. Quite hipster.
It's quite
hipster. Like he had short trousers on.
Clicked Out's all for creatives, isn't it? I love that.
Yeah. 20 seconds.
Do you do photographs for clip? Oh, well, I'll ask you on here actually.
Huh?
I'll ask you on here.
Ready?
Hello, I'm Sarah Louise Ryan and welcome back to Women's Radio Station. We're here on Love Lessons with founder Saskia Nelson of Hey Saturday and Hey Tuesday. Welcome back, Saskia.
Thank you.
See, eased in your comfortable jumper.
Still wishing I'd wore black, but never mind. Owning it.
She's owning the self-love and the confidence and the jumper.
Baby. Yeah, I'm on fire. Always on fire.
So kind of want to take a little sidestep away from dating profiles at the moment and talk about your professional profiles online, what you're putting out there into the world, and how Saskia can really help you navigate, I guess, the consistency, the professionalism, and people's perception of you, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So, personal branding or personal brand is basically what people think or say about you out there in the world. So if you don't take control of it, it's happening anyway. So yeah, there are people will see you online or see photos of you or whatever when they Google you, and they will make decisions about you. So the best thing to do is to take control of that and kind of own your kind of brand online. So mine, like I said, if you look at mine, if you Google me, it comes up across quite a lot of platforms. The world's first dating photographer, the world's first dating photography business. So I did that on purpose. That was obviously something that I planned to do to make myself stand out from the crowd. And people love the world's first anything. Yes. So I've had a lot of press from that, from the BBC, Time Magazine, Telegraph, Times, even the Financial Times. So that's my personal brand and something that I've, kind of created. I worked hard to do that. So you can take control of it by figuring out who you are. That's the first thing, is define what your brand is, and then kind of figuring out how to get the message out there. So I was blogging and, doing all sorts of things, building connections, getting PR, and I'd feed that message in. So whenever I was interviewed by anybody, I'd be like, so yes, I set up the world's first dating photography agency. I am the first. And they just write that. And that became the headlines for so many articles. So that's created my brand. Now I'm moving more into self-love for Hey Saturday. So I'm working on how to kind of shift from the world's first. I mean, that's still who we are. But as more and more photographers come on board doing it, that will become less important. So I'm just preparing the brand for when that shift happens. So I do have my own brand, but it is quite tied in with Hey Saturday and Hey Tuesday as well. And luckily a lot of my brand values are aligned with them, so that works. But yeah, it's kind of figuring out defining who you are and what you stand for. That's really important, and then getting the message out there. And I would say that defining what you stand for is probably one of the most important things to do when you're looking at kind of business, and especially if you're setting up your own business.
So do you think that ties in quite nicely with what we were saying a couple of breaks ago about defining what your values are, defining, what you like best about you and what you're willing to put up with in the world and what you're willing to not accept. So when you start to figure out what your values are as a person, you will align yourself quite nicely with what you want for your business and for your brand.
Absolutely.
And that will help you push forward.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can work on your kind of organisation's brand without looking at your own brand first.
Yes.
So you're absolutely spot on.
What are you putting out there to the world?
Yeah, and it's going to be linked completely with, it should be linked with your business brand. And I think that's where people do go wrong, is if they don't do the work, because like figuring out who you are and what you stand for, it requires work, it requires effort. So people might skip that stage and go, okay, well, let's just figure out what I want my business to do and look like. But no, you have to know who you are, what your voice is, what the business's voice is going to be, and they need to align. Yeah, you need to find your voice.
Saskia, I have got 10 million questions for you, and I'm just going to keep rolling through them right now, so we can get the best out of this Love Lessons female founder, I guess, episode. So, as a woman who has a global business now, you are all over. Tell us where you are.
Well, all over the UK, and then in LA and New York now as well. So that's kind of transatlantic. Yeah. Hey, baby, I'm transatlantic.
Are you planning to head anywhere else?
So yeah, I want to do more in the States, because there's a great need for it. There's no one doing it there. I've got contacts over there, many of whom in the dating world that you know as well. Yeah. And there's a need for it, so it makes sense. And there's no language barrier. I mean, I do want to go to Berlin and Paris, and there's lots of cities. I
can see you doing really well in Berlin. Because your brand...
and Amsterdam as well. But yeah, Berlin is they've got some really cool dating agencies over there and dating sites and things. They're quite forward thinking in terms of dating, and there's lots of startups and lots of English speaking people there, and so that has definitely been on my list.
So actually, in the dating industry, I'm sure you won't mind me saying that you work across a range of platforms. You work with people offline, such as matchmakers, coaches, and then you also work online, I guess, with people who are dating apps,
and single people,
So you've really kind of tapped the market as a female founder on all levels. And can I ask you, as a woman who founded a business, have you ever found yourself with a little bit of imposter syndrome, or are you totally nailing that self-confidence since you've had that book?
Yeah, well, nailing self-confidence is a daily thing. Yes. I have to wake up every day and choose to believe in myself. And on days when I don't, it's hard work. So I was interviewed recently for another magazine, and they asked that, and I said, the one thing that lets me down is if it's my mindset. So the biggest challenges are ones that I create myself. So I have to wake up every day and go, do you know what, Saskia, come on, do this, let's do it.
I love having a mantra for every day. It's really funny because before you were saying, you have to take control about what people think about you, what they say about you, because they'll do it anyway. They'll do it anyway. Absolutely. They'll get their perception wherever they can find information about you. Yeah. And actually, I have something opposite in terms of mantra about that. It's what other people think of you is none of your business.
Yeah,
so I guess it ties into the same thing, but
except when you want to sell your brand. But I know that's more for self-confidence. Yes, like not worrying about it. Doesn't matter what other people think of you, because it's what you think of yourself that's really important. So no, absolutely.
So can you tell us a little bit about what people can get from Hey Tuesday, your professional personal branding for people that are putting it out on LinkedIn, I guess?
Yeah, so I started Hey Tuesday really because I had so many Hey Saturday clients going, I want to have a photo for my LinkedIn as well. Do you do that as well? And I started having a look at what other kind of corporate photographers were doing in terms of for LinkedIn, and they were all
Grey
the same,
backgrounds.
grey or white backgrounds,
No.
indoors, studio stuff, and I was like, oh goodness, that isn't very exciting at all. Where's people's personal brand in that? It wasn't there.
Oh, they don't show any personality.
No personality at all. So yeah, and I just thought, do you know what? I'm gonna start Hey Tuesday, and it's gonna be bringing out people's personality just as we do for Hey Saturday, but with the vibe is for business. So
Yes.
they're not going to be sitting there with a coffee necessarily, although it depends what their job is. So for some
And I
coaches
think,
and stuff, they might be.
People buy people, and if you're not
Yes.
showing the fact that you're human and have a personality in your
Yeah.
photograph
Yeah, of
or
course.
in your bio or whatever, then people are not going to be interested.
Absolutely. And now for Hey Tuesday, our biggest clients are small companies. So,
Really?
yeah, and charities, but many companies with about 20.
Yes.
They're kind of, startups or whatever, and they don't want boring old corporate
No.
backgrounds. They want their personality coming through. So we get a lot of companies for Hey Tuesday, which is great. And then, yeah, obviously regular people who are usually people who work for themselves.
Yeah.
Or wanting to work themselves will come and get a shoot with us with Hey Tuesday.
So what kind of platforms are they putting these photos out on?
So a lot of them are doing it for their own websites, for their own
Mhm.
businesses. So we have coaches, masseuses, even lawyers, and people who are starting up on their own.
Yeah.
So meeting some really interesting people actually. So usually it's for their website, and then they might use them as well for things like their HuffPost articles and things like that, which is great. So we love that. And then also LinkedIn, of course. I mean, LinkedIn, really, people, if you're not using a nice, good quality image on LinkedIn, bad. That is not good.
Do you know what gets me? A lot of people that choose not to use a photograph on LinkedIn.
Oh, please. That's so 1992.
Why are you hiding?
Yeah. And the same, yeah. I mean, when you go to a networking meeting, you're not meeting people with bags over their heads. You want to see who they are. It's the same on LinkedIn. If you want to connect with people for business, you need to show who you are.
Show who you are. People buy people. If they can't see you because you haven't got a private profile, but you've decided that, that's the end of that. People can't see you because you're hiding or whatever.
Yeah.
People are not going to do business with you.
No, absolutely.
So, Saskia, I've had the most wonderful time, and I'm sure the listeners have too.
Thank you. This has been awesome.
I want to get kind of like a quick fire 3-point round of the 3 top tips that you would give someone for branding themselves personally and professionally for success, and hopefully love success in 2019.
Okay, so I would say start working on your self-love, most important thing. And then I've got 2 tips really. And then secondly, figure out what you stand for. So what your values are, what your lifestyle is, what your personality is, and from that you'll figure out who you are and what you stand for. For me, it's self-love, but for everyone, it's something different. And then build that into your dating profile or your business profile.
I love that. It's like figuring out who you want to be and just be that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because by then you'll have the self-love, so you just be that. Decide who you are and do it.
And also, I just want to touch on something that Saskia and I got to chit-chatting about in the break, that as a female founder, or as with anything, if you want to get out there online dating, you're waiting for the right time, or you're waiting for the right time to launch your business, or the right time to ask X or Y on a date. Well, there is never a right time. There's never a perfect moment. Just do it.
Yeah, it's like, is there a right time to have a baby? Probably not, no, but people do it all the time.
Yeah,
just get your ducks in a row so that you've got a backup plan if you need it. But just get started as a side hustle, whatever, or yeah.
So self-love, confidence, and just get out there, have fun.
Get out of your comfort zone.
Brand yourself for success in love and in business in 2019. Saskia Nelson, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been amazing.
I'm Sarah Louise Ryan, and this is Love Lessons.
Well done. That was amazing. You're so good at this. Oh my God.
I would do it every day, all day.